Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Eldon. Eldon is from Missouri in the USA. So let's see what Eldon has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Can you hear
Yes?
me?
Yes, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Sorry
How are
about
you?
that. I
It's
am
okay. How are
doing
you?
well.
You
I'm
doing well?
great. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for the invite, by the way.
Thank you so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, so how are you doing today?
Very good. Yeah, it's already 7:30 in London. It's been very warm today. It's been a warm
hmm
day, which is great. So people they are happier. People are enjoying the sun. So it's when the sun is out in London, people just get very excited. So yeah, it's
Oh, I
been
bet.
great. How about you? Tell me so far. What have you been doing so far today?
Today, I have been mentally preparing for this since I am a little bit shy. I went for a walk. I tend to do that a lot. I probably walk between like 5 and 8 miles a day.
Huh?
I live like maybe 40, 50 feet from some local trails, so I always on those.
Hmm.
I just like to connect with nature.
Are you more of day or night person?
When I was younger, I was a night person, but I'm kind of becoming a day person just because that's when people are quieter.
Tell me where you're from, Eldon.
I am from the St. Louis area in the US.
You're born and raised?
No, I'm from a small town called Pleasant Hill. Um, I don't even know how many people it has. It just doesn't have a lot. It barely had its own school. I graduated in a small class, so it was a very small town life for me.
But still in Missouri,
Illinois side, actually.
Illinois. So now
hmm
you are St. Louis in
hmm
Missouri. Okay.
hmm
And why the change from there to St. Louis?
I originally came here for college. Uh,
Mhm.
I got my bachelor's degree and I decided to just stay in the area. It's not my long-term goal. I do plan to relocate. I have a couple of places in mind, but we'll see what the future lies for me.
I see. And all your family are back in Illinois?
Yes, my sister is in Michigan and I just got done visiting her.
I see. And what do you do for work, for living, Eldon?
I recently was caught in that tech bubble crisis that's been happening. So my contract recently ended and I've been recertifying to just see what's next for me. I think cybersecurity might be my direction, but my previous role was an IT analyst.
Interesting. I like your hat. Stay.
Thank you. Yeah, it's actually mental health related. So basically, it says, blunt as it sounds, stay, meaning don't do something to yourself. That's kind of the mentality behind it.
Amazing. Very good. I like that, actually. Very nice. Right. So before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Something interesting about myself. So I watched several of your episodes, and I can share some interesting information that I have a past with one of your interviewers, non-local, but I'm not going to tell you who.
Oh my God! Really? Oh my
Yes.
goodness! But you were in a relationship in the past, or just
Not
a
officially a
casual?
relationship, but we became really good friends, and I still view him pretty fondly to this day.
Oh my good! Did you tell him about the interview or not?
No, I just happened to see him on your list, and I'm like, is that the same person? And then I watched the interview, I'm like, yeah, it is.
Oh my God! You need to send me a message after we tell. I promise you, I'm not gonna tell him or nobody else.
Okay.
Oh my God! Now it's going through my mind. Now, my goodness, who could be in? I had so many. I have a few guests on the show from St. Louis. So maybe anyway, I can already picture some people here
It's
already.
non-local.
Okay. Ooh, now it's difficult then. Now it became difficult because most of my guests on the show they are from the US and they are spread everywhere. So now it became difficult for me now. Now it's not gonna be.
I have to give you a challenge.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. Actually, I love that. I love the the coincidence. Amazing. It's interesting because I had so many people on the show. Some of the people, they know each other from different things, or but they never met, or but now you literally guys you know each other. So that's a good thing. Amazing. Eldon, are you ready to
Mhm.
go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and share your point of views?
I sure am. I got my water. I'm ready.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got here my best friend. flow from the fun questions. Just gonna play a song now for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. All right, Eldon, before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about, some reason you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay?
Okay.
First question for you is, what is the biggest risk have you ever taken?
My biggest risk I have ever taken was leaving my ex, actually. So I was in college when I had my long-term relationship, which was 13 years. And
Oh,
I kind of lost who I was in that relationship because I was determined to make it work. Just mentality of how I grew up. There was just one limit to what I wouldn't stand. It happened, and it was up to me to at least make a stand, and that's what I did. So I basically rebuilt myself from the ground up, and I couldn't be happier with where I'm at.
wow. And when you look back through those, my God, long relationship, 13 years, I'm sure it's a really strong bond between both. When you look back, what was the positive lesson or the outcome that came from that relationship when you think about it? Something like a lesson that you've learned, something that you are grateful for it.
I learned not to bottle things up because you will immediately blow up about something very small that makes no sense because you just have a lot of repressed energy that just wants out. So learn to communicate, and that will never happen. That's something that I've went on a very painful journey with, but it's so worth it. And whoever I end up with will definitely reward from it.
Oh, yeah, it's as you said, it's not easy, like breaking up a relationship, even though like a long one, my goodness. But when you're over it, or when you start to see in a different way, that's when you see the lesson and why it meant to be, it meant to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe that.
I agree.
Next question. Let's do it. Wow, good answer. Right, next question is, what 3 things are you most grateful for?
I am grateful for just my personality. It's always kept me from being bored with myself. So I'm actually an introvert and I'm shy. And recently I was dealing with social anxiety. So I had like a huge trifecta of just bad stuff altogether. And I love my creativity, really. I create a lot of things from writing poetry and short stories to actually have a song. So I kind of just spread it out. I'm a huge art lover. Yeah.
Oh my God, so tell me a little bit about your song.
It's so this was back 17 years ago, maybe. I was living with a friend at the time. It was over the summer. I didn't know how to do any actual music writing, but he created this piano score and basically said, craft the lyrics to this. And so I just listened to it. I just resonated with it. In about an hour and a half, I had everything written. And right now, I'm the only person who owns that song. So,
oh my God, amazing.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow. And talk me a little bit through the song. Who listened to the song? What's the message behind that song?
The message was, it was more of hope. The song title is Dreaming of a Happy Ending. So it's kind of unstructured in a way, but you can tell when it speeds up and the piano runs towards the end. And I try to leave with a positive message that just doesn't disappear.
What's the name of the song again?
Dreaming of a Happy Ending.
Wow, amazing, very good. Actually, I think I saw on your Facebook there was like a name of a song there.
That probably was probably just so people get an idea of my personality. But in my Facebook, there's actually a link to my blog, so all this writing is there. I have 3 different blogs for 3 different purposes.
Can you talk about the 3 different topics on your blogs or not?
It's not really a big deal. One, this is gonna make you laugh. One's from my MySpace days for all the stories and blogs and poems and writing I did in the past. One's for challenging myself with different types of writing, and then another one is for the past writing competitions I used to do. They were like flash fiction. They would give you like an item, a scenario, and a type of writing, and you had to basically do it overnight.
Oh wow, interesting, very good. Next question, Eldon, let's do it. Right. Before the next question, tell me what do you like the most about living in Missouri, in St. Louis? What's the best joy of it, living outside the city?
In the area that I live, which is still it's actually the Metro East, which is the suburb part of St. Louis, but it's actually in Illinois, not necessarily East St. Louis. We've all heard about that, right? But it's just beautiful here. You wouldn't expect the type of geography with all the
Uh-huh.
lush like greenery, because everybody thinks of cornfields when you think of the Midwest, and there are certainly that in other parts of the state, but just not here as much as I would see elsewhere.
I see. See. Okay. Next question is, do you have any pet peeves?
Pet peeves. I do. People who don't listen to me when I'm talking to them. That is one that's very, very high on my list.
When you're saying about about you being shy, about your personality, when you analyze yourself, what's the best part of being Eldon? What's the best part of being you?
I figure things out. I've always been a problem solver, and there's never really been a problem I haven't been able to figure out. And just the nature of my life, I've always done it solo. So I have a good backbone for myself.
And tell me, do you have a big family? Do you have siblings as well? You said you have a sister who lives in Michigan.
I do. I have a sister who lives in Michigan, and unfortunately, my brother passed away in 2021 to COVID. So
Oh.
I'm basically the youngest now. Yeah.
And your parents are back in Illinois.
They're still in Illinois, yes.
See. All right. Version of the question?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next one. Now I can't stop thinking about the person that you know in the Magic Box. Oh my God. When you watched the interview, he came across the person who you know. Yeah, it was real. It was everything very, very honest.
It was actually before I even knew this person, so it was very interesting to watch the interview.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Also, he did the interview before you met him. And after, when you do some research on the channel, you saw his interview. Oh my God, that's so interesting. Oh my God, small words. You see that the Magic Box are reconnecting people. They can see the other side. They can see people. It's amazing. Oh my God, just made my day now. Wow.
I'm glad to have done that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Next question is, what's your all-time favorite band and why?
That one is actually easy. For me, it is Savage Garden, because they resonated with me before I realized I was gay, and then the second album that came out, which basically was him coming out, it just blew my mind that he did that, and I followed him ever since, even though Savage Garden no longer exists.
What's your favorite song?
Crash and Burn.
Hmm.
If you watch the music video, it's really good. It's before social media became a thing, so it talked about influences outside of physical contact that were influencing people's mental health. And basically, if you listen to the lyrics, it's about being there for those types of people and creating like a support structure.
As you mentioned about being gay, tell me your experience. How was for you growing up as a gay boy? Did you have the support of your family? Walk me through a little bit about your experience.
Well, it was not easy. I will say that. My family was religious. I'll go as far to say they were Pentecostal, and that really impacted how I grew up, especially in a small community. I never really fit in. I didn't even have any friends. That's kind of where I kind of lived in my own little world and just appreciated who I was, As far as being gay, I didn't even realize I was gay until I was 17, to be honest. This is actually going to be a funny story for you. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this in the future. So there was a guy at this music festival, and he was eyeing me, following me around, and I was so oblivious to everything. I helped organize it because I was doing student council stuff. I was VP. I was ready to walk home, and he wanted to walk me home. We just talked the whole time. We sat just talking, and I just didn't think of anything of it. I'm like, okay, a new friend from out of the area. He basically told me he wanted to kiss me, and I said no, and I walked home, and it made me wonder. I'm like, that was weird, but I wasn't prepared for that. And so I was avoiding him, and he got the gall to call my mom, basically tell her that we were friends, and told her that he would like to know if I would spend the night with him.
Through your mom?
Mm-hmm. And
Oh
she
my
thought I
God.
needed friends, so she made me do it.
No way. Oh my God.
And that was the night I lost my virginity.
Oh my God. Wow. That's very real. Oh my
I could create that
goodness.
story if I wanted to. That's just how it happened.
Oh my God. Are you still in touch with this person?
No, no. After high school, I was ready to move on.
Oh, that's sweet. Did you like school?
Yes, I was very academic. Always did the advanced classes. Like I mentioned, I was the vice president of student council, but I was also huge into music and chorus. I did district, all state, you name it. Music's just a huge background part of me. I actually have a keyboard over here you can't see. Um,
Uh,
but yeah, I loved studying. I still do actually.
do you are you a singer as well, Eldo? Because your voice come across very, as a singer, a proper singer.
I am, but I haven't been practicing as much as I used to.
Wow. Okay. As soon as you start talking, I could kind of have a guess that maybe could be an actor, singer, because the sound of your voice.
That's
Yeah.
actually a compliment. I've never heard that before from anyone, so thank you for that.
It is, yeah. Like, and when you start talking about, music, you said, "Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sure he got something behind. So there's something there. There's something hidden there."
Yeah.
Next question. Right. Next question for you is, who do you count the most for help?
Who do I come to the most for help? No one besides myself, really. As you can glimpse, I'm not really close to my family. I've actually just gotten close to my sister because of what happened with my brother. I'm trying to be a good uncle to my nephew because I'm the only uncle he has now. But outside of that, I just learned to support myself. I have structure, I have responsibility. I'm happy with myself.
I see. And you always had this way of like being independent, like look after yourself. You always had
hmm
this personality.
hmm
See.
Yeah, it developed itself.
Okay. Next question. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Although before the next question, as we are wearing your hats,
hmm
stay, and also you mentioned about mental health.
hmm
Walk me through a little bit about the journey. Why, the interest of helping people or express yourself regarding that.
There was a small. I'll be very open because I'm always open with this story because I do content online as well. Um, I struggled with suicide myself just that last senior year. Going through those guy situations was not what I was ready for when I didn't even know what was next for myself and I just felt so alone, you know? So knowing how I got through that, it's and then when COVID hit and I saw that just basically quarantine was affecting everybody's mental health, that's kind of when I jumped on the bandwagon of, okay, how can I help others? And so I saw all these people starting up their own Twitch accounts. So I'm like, okay, I'll start up too. That's what I did, and I'm like, which direction do I want to go? And I'm like, I want to create a safe space. People don't do that enough, so that's exactly what I want to do because I know how important that is. That kind of spiraled into me being a volunteer for, I don't know if you've heard about it, but in the States, the Trevor Project is a youth crisis hotline, like an LGBTQIA plus. And it was a very rewarding experience to learn how to empower others to make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm. And do you think nowadays, no, regarding mental health,
Mhm.
what in your opinion, what's the biggest cause of mental health in your opinion nowadays in the world?
Uh, that's a very it's a very broad question. I think the ability to hide anonymously online
Mm-hmm.
and the lack of interaction as compared to what the past used to look like, I think a lot of that's just been hard to decipher because we as humans evolve, right? That was thrown at us. We were not ready for it. And so when COVID hit and the quarantine happened, people weren't ready for that. I mean, some of us were because that's kind of our dream world a bit, but not really. Not really, because the enjoyment of that's only going to last so long, you know?
I see. Okay. Next question is, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly? And what would you do?
Invisible or fly? I would
Yeah.
be invisible
Oh, tell me why.
because I am very playful and mischievous, and I would like to spy on people just
let's
for
say
prank purposes.
let's say you have the superpower of being visible for 24 hours. Where would you go? What would you do if you had the opportunity to be somewhere invisible? What that would be?
Wow, that's a good question. I would see if I had a revenge mindset, I would go immediately there, but I don't. I probably would just live my life and kind of do funny things to make kids laugh. Because you know how they see things that parents don't.
That's so true. Absolutely. It's interesting saying that because sometimes kids, they are very sensitive kids, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
sometimes parents, they don't believe, they think that they are dreaming, they think they are making up. But I think they should listen to them because there are a lot of stories behind and they mean it.
I agree. I full-heartedly agree with that.
3 questions left for you. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Next question, Eldon. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
When was the last time that you cried and why?
Probably recently, but I don't cry because I'm sad. I cry because I love art and I love to feel things from it. So I have like go-to movies. August Rush is probably one of my favorite ones, at least music related. Just stuff like that.
Tell me why the connection with art give you emotions. You feel you have this emotion regarding your art.
Growing up, the things I remember with my family, my dad, my grandma played acoustic guitar. Always sang like at the holidays back in like the late 80s, early 90s. I just was around that environment. I sang in the church. That was my choice. I didn't necessarily like the church aspect, but I liked the singing part. And then that just evolved into school and I did solos and stuff. And
Wow. 2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next one, tell me, how is the gay scene there where you live? Do you have any place that you can hang out, or you need to go closer to a bigger city?
honestly, the main bar that I used to go to no longer exists. It used to be called JJ's Clubhouse. I felt the most comfortable there because I do have a bigger body type and I have lost a lot of weight. So back when I was bigger, I felt more accepted in the bear community there. So I think that's the place I gravitated towards. Now I would, if anyone's out there wanting to know the scene, I would say Bar PM if you're into fetish and just open-minded mentality. They have drag shows, they have events. I think their Leather Society has their like routinely meetings there. So it's got a little bit of everything, I think. Outside of that, I just don't go to a lot of bars.
I see. So there where you live, there are some gay places to go. There's quite open there.
Yes.
Amazing. Right. Next question is, what is the most difficult thing have you ever done?
Most difficult thing I have ever done. It was probably right after the breakup because the breakup piggybacked off after my brother's death. So it was actually a huge ball of darkness for me. I felt like a phoenix. I rebranded my name as a phoenix. I have a whole tattoo idea lined up that's going to incorporate music and the whole phoenix atmosphere into one. But I won't talk about it too much because I don't want people stealing it. Not that anyone would, but I'm very secretive of my ideas because I'm very proud of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, just pulling myself up and realizing that I am enough by myself. Actually, I'm more than enough by myself. And I'm just excited for the future, man.
Amazing.
I
And
really
which
am.
person are you more close to nowadays?
Which person? My roommate, actually. He and I have been best friends for 15 years, and I convinced him to relocate from Florida to move in with me, just so
Oh my
we could
God.
kind of have our sitcom moment.
What's the biggest similarity between both of you and the biggest difference?
We are both very intellectual and creative, so we like to just bounce off of each other ideas and make them really outrageous. That's probably where we get a lot of our fun. Uh, our I our disadvantages, I would say, is just our age gap. I think I've experienced different things than him as far as what trauma is, and we just grew different directions. So we butt heads on certain ideas, but more or less we resolve everything.
And how did you path crossed? Because he's from Florida, you are in Missouri. So how things
Online
happen?
gaming.
Oh my God.
World of Warcraft, yeah.
Wow, my goodness. Yeah. Ready for the last one?
Yes, let's do it.
Last question.
Let's do
Let's
it.
do it. Right, but before the last question, as you mentioned about, your writing, you love writes. When was the moment when you realized that it was a passion, it was something genuine about yourself, your personality, that you could literally write poems, all of that?
Back when I was young, I tried different writing techniques. I remember in the 6th grade because that was one of our classes, and poetry stuck to me as just something very easy to get my ideas out, but also having a structure behind it most of the time. So I just kind of did that when I wanted to vent. I did that at work sometimes in my late teens, and people loved to see that stuff that I had because they were just really goofy, And then eventually I submitted my poetry off to some places, and I got an award for one of them that I wrote in half an hour while I was sick. And that's kind of when it struck me that I might have something if that happens. And then I actually have another one published in a book. So I do keep
Wow.
that close to me. Yeah.
Wow. If you could pick one of them, like your favorite one for a reason, for there's something behind, which one that would be and why? One of your poetry.
Probably An Equal Soul, just because I really thought that one out probably the most out of all my poems, and it just structurally looks nice. It's basically a couplet form. It goes from 10 syllables all the way down to 1, so it's like a reverse pyramid.
Oh wow.
And how you see the words, and it's basically about how complicated life is when you're trying to find love, and by the end it's just one word is all you need to just describe what it is.
A question for you. Do you write like every day, or when you feel inspired, or it just come naturally for you?
Not every day, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I do write down a lot of ideas that I want to pursue. I am pretty good at that. I have like one of those notepads on my phone completely for those ideas.
Wow.
I guess I haven't had that passion lately. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do next,
Amazing. Okay, last question for you is, tough question.
Uh-oh.
If someone gave you an envelope to you, like with your death date inside of it, would you open it or not, and why?
I would. Because at this point, I'm living. If you look at the quote I have on my Facebook, I actually created that one myself. Be the version of yourself that your child self dreamt of being. I am literally doing all the actions I, as a teenager, imagined and dreamt of myself doing, and just being that type of person. And because of that, I have no regrets with how I'm at my life now. So I can thankfully say I'm in touch with my spirituality enough to know that if tomorrow was my day, I would be okay with that, because I'm in a really good place right now.
Wow. Aging for you, it's something that bothers you, or it's just a matter of life?
What was that?
Aging for you, it's something that bothers you, or it's just a matter of life?
It's just part of the process. It used to bother me when I was younger, but they say it's very obvious that our cells change every 7 years, right? So we're not even the same person as we were back then. So I cannot imagine what my mind's going to be like in another 7 years, what type of person I'll be then. That makes me excited because I know where I'm at. I know a lot of the aging stuff is more physical related. That's why I'm kind of on top of my exercise and fitness right now, just to make sure I can travel. I used to travel, actually. I've been to London before, and I look forward to coming back. Yeah, I had a lot of fun there.
Oh wow. Which year was that?
That was right before the travel restrictions happened. It was that February 2019.
Oh my God, that's
Mhm.
amazing. Oh wow. And when you think about London, what's the best memory that comes to your mind?
uh, just the variety of people I ran into while walking between bars, because there were all kinds of scenes happening, and it was fun to watch. I'm a spectator. I don't know if I'm at the theater right now watching Agatha Christie or if I'm actually going to a gay bar, and I'm okay with this. I'll just get some
That,
popcorn and watch.
oh, that's amazing. Next time you come, let me know,
Yeah,
please. Hit me
definitely.
out.
I'll definitely be there.
Oh wow. Okay. It's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Okay.
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 Let's start with family,
Distant.
money,
Insignificant.
love.
That's a hard one.
Okay.
Distant.
Okay. Is distant for you, or you think it's always been distant?
It's just not a focus right now. I have just other priorities. I don't want to put myself out there for someone if I'm not ready, you know?
Good. Very good. Sex.
Good.
Good. This is
Yeah, yeah, we'll just stick with that.
one word for politics.
Removed.
Life.
Fleeting.
Religion.
Organized.
Fear.
Self-doubt.
Friendship.
Priceless.
Desire.
Dreams.
Regret.
Fixed.
I like that. One word for friendship.
One word for
Oh,
friendship.
oh, sorry. I said that already. I was about to say success. Sorry.
Success. Empowering.
Wish.
Peace.
One word for happiness.
Inside.
One word for Missouri state.
Diverse.
Illinois, one word.
Blue.
One word for USA.
Diverse.
And the last one now, if you could define all your poetry, that you have written so far, in one word, all of them, what that would be?
Memories.
Actually, another one word for your music, the one that you created.
Inspirational.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your friend, your roommate, from Florida. And I would ask him, tell me what's the most beautiful thing about Eldon, and what's something that he still needs to work on to improve on. What he would say?
He would say he admires how I'm constantly working on myself. I'm constantly trying to self-improve because I know what I've came from, and I'm very vocal about that and how I will never go back. I'm very much I'm not going to say things as much as I used to. I'm just going to do actions and let them prove themselves. As far as a flaw, I can get a little cranky at times. When I was driving back from Michigan, I did not stop at like a rest stop or anything, and I was just trying to push on back, and the traffic was very much getting on my nerves, and he probably will give you that specific memory.
Wow. He was by your side or not?
We were road tripping together. He was in the passenger seat. I'll make more stops next time. Lesson learned.
Good, very good. Let's play now Eldon and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. Okay, you can ask me a question now, Eldon.
When you grew up, what did you first want to be and why?
Oh my God.
I love this.
The answer comes straight away to my head, and I'll tell you what. Right. Growing up, when you were mentioned about your, writing, about your, singing in the church, all the stuff, I know I was saying to myself, growing up as well, I remember, I think I was 6 years old, 7 years old, and I was at school. And my teacher, like one of our teachers, she said, okay, she gave us this questionnaire, like a lot of questions about, what do you like like the magic box, let's say, for children, something like those questions for you to get to know a little bit about yourself. And there was a question there. What would you like to be when you grow up? Yeah. You know what I write down? I write down Michael Jackson. So
that's a great answer, though.
no, next day, so she collected all those, the answers from everyone, and of course she was kind of having a look at home, and she was kind of look at them. Next day, she called me back on her desk, and she said, William, come here. I was like, oh, hi. I said, did you understand this question? And I said, yes, I understood. And she was like, but why did you put Michael Jackson? And I said, because I would like to be Michael Jackson when I grow up one day. And she was like, but Michael Jackson is not a profession. Michael Jackson, and she was explaining, he's an artist, he's a singer, he's a performer, he's a dancer. And I was like, yeah, but I would like to be Michael Jackson when I grow up. And I don't remember much about it, but I remember my mom talking about that at home with me. So I think she contacted my mom for her to explain to me, because I didn't want to accept that I couldn't be him. So I think, so I just have this vague memory in my mind that I wanted to be Michael Jackson, because my mom was trying to explain to me as well. So yeah, growing up, I really wanted to be Michael Jackson. It was for me, he was something like from another world, you know what I mean? There was something about him that I always admired. But when I started understanding that he wasn't like a profession, I wanted to be a lawyer as a teenager. Okay. Yeah, a teenager, I wanted to be a lawyer. Again, because of, I always loved reading at the time as well. And I was very into Portuguese grammar as well. And my teachers, they were like, oh, you're going to be a good lawyer. So they kind of make a lot of those, comments. And I kept that in my mind. And I was just kind of, following these kind of comments that they were saying. When I look back, I couldn't be a lawyer. When I look back, I couldn't. And I couldn't be Michael Jackson either. But yeah, so that's 2 answers for you: Michael Jackson and to be a lawyer.
Or you can be a Michael Jackson impersonator lawyer.
If I could be.
just some improv. I think you could get there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think ever since, children, they are very creative. They see things in a different way that the adults, they don't. So for me, I couldn't see him as a singer. I knew he was a singer, dancer, but for me, he was something that I would like to be like him, growing up. So that's the imagination. Yeah, the imagination of children was just like, expand. You just go and you never can stop that. That's what I believe. Eldon, did you enjoy the interview?
I did. I had a lot more fun than I realized I was going to have. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, thanks so much for taking the time for the interview. And I'm so curious to know who is the character. Oh my God.
And I will be changing your name to Michael Jackson in my Facebook. So you can be Michael Jackson at least once.
Absolutely. Before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Positive message. It's just a bad day. It's not a bad life.
Good one. Very good.
I love that one.
And this shall pass, as they say.
Yes.
This shall pass, for sure. For sure.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for the interview, and you keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure to connect with you. And see you in London sometime, okay?
Yeah, definitely. Take care of yourself.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.